Hello everyone, Hovian here, and we are back with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Part 4, Diamond is Unbreakable. I'm the list 4. And we're continuing right where we left off. Let's go to Among Arthur's house. Well, one word, I am skipping, I'll get to Kagurabachi tomorrow. Even though that was next up that should have been next up in the rotation. Just because I had more time to read on the weekends, so I thought I'd read the two in one volume instead of the regular volume. Yeah, that's my justification. But yeah, it's JoJo's. So we got Heaven's Door stand, a very terrifying stand that, as Koichi says here, he's never seen a stand so terrifying. I mean, there's a lot of terrifying stands. I mean, we'll see one later on in this arc. Um, yeah, stands or Heaven's Door, very scary. Like you just can't. It like you like Koichi can recognize the danger he's in, but you just can't do anything about it. It's like he's paralyzed and and it's like right in front of the enemy, and it's very it must be very terrifying. But Okasu, they're even though he wasn't able to call for help. Um, they just know, and that's great. I love that. But yeah, he knows a lot about them from Heaven's Door. This is an interesting fight. A bit. Rohan is very very fast. Uh, with his hands. Um, so he's able to get the manga page in front of the hand before he can get hit. That's how Ogyasu goes down, and then it's all up to Josuke, and basically almost the same thing happens up until well, well, he makes the mistake of making fun of his hair. They all make fun of Josuke's hair. I don't think we saw that in the last video. No one made fun of his hair last time. So it's been a bit since someone's been stupid enough to do that. Um, and that's how he defeats Rohan. He should have been absorbed by the paper or whatever, by Heaven's Door, but because even though he could see the paper, he was blind with rage. I think they're just taking that expression literally. So that's how he defeats Rohan, and then we have like a imagined flashback to why uh Josuke like is that way about his hair. Did we already get a reason? I forget if we had a reason. That that's like crazy. They kind of like made up a backstory about him, his like mother or him being saved by a guy who looks like him, in like in a snowstorm, and that's why he wanted to be like that guy. Uh, and yeah, even till the end of this fight, Rohan just wanted to write down everything for his manga. Oh man, he really has a one track mind. I don't know. Maybe I was a bit wrong. He did definitely go into the realm of evil for his manga, but the end goal is always the manga. You know, the manga trumps everything. So I mean, he definitely. I don't know if you. He definitely like can as his behavior. He does evil things. That's not his guiding light though. Um, but you could say that lack of a moral compass makes him evil. If you want to use those terms to describe that. But yeah, next arc, we go rat hunting. Yeah, it's another incident where an animal gets a stand. This time it's two rats. Although most of it is just finding one rat. Did they both have the same stand power of melting people together? I don't think usually you can have two people the same stand, right? I don't know. But either way, I mean, it's a fun arc, although I don't think there's as much the antagonists are just rats. We don't really there's not much of a character to the rats. So I don't think it's one of the it's not one of the more memorable uh fights or arcs of the series. But it's not bad. I think it's most notable for the extreme level of like thought put into like the strategy, especially on Jotaro's part. He's oh man, he's really cool in this arc. Knowing everything about how to hunt down these rats. And yeah, Josuke's in a weird position. Like usually he's like the main character, like he is the main character, and usually in these arcs, he's like the strongest guy around. But in this arc, he's just like just like a side character, understudy. That puts him in a different light. I think. I think he said something about. He said something to break the fourth wall to that respect. But I'm not gonna scour this through just to find that. We do see the world. Star Platinum's the world. In this arc, that's cool. Really says something that these rats were able to get him to go that far. Star Platinum is one of the strongest stands I think we've seen. They're just rats. I don't know. Do you think there's something about the stands that make them smarter, or are they just that smart? I don't know, man. But yeah, I mean, it's a fine arc. Just I don't think there's a whole lot more to it than that. But I don't know. Maybe there's some lore stuff you could say. I think we do see like the was it the Speedwagon Foundation or Association? I don't really see them, but they called them to like the edges around the area. I think that's interesting. Or, I don't know, maybe not. Yeah, right after that, Kishibe Rohan is back. I wonder if he was a fan favorite. I wouldn't be surprised if he was a fan favorite. He definitely is an interesting character. Usually the characters we come back to are like regular like teenagers, like Okuyasu. Like this guy is like he's a full grown adult. So I or well, no, he's like he's a young guy, but still an adult. Did they say he was like 19 or something or 20? He is very young. But compared to Dosuke and Koichi, he's still out of school. But they find actually this art doesn't have a stand user. They just find a ghost. It's definitely a bizarre. They find bizarre things, but there's not a stand user, which is interesting. They find this woman who turns out to be a ghost. What was it? Her name was Reimi Sugimoto. Yeah, Sugimoto, like the Golden Kamui guy. Yeah, they get like lost in like this alleyway that's not on any maps, and it's because this girl who's been around. She was murdered, and there's like a serial killer still on the loose. Which is gonna it's like setting up another or like ongoing plot in the background, which is cool. Um, and that actually it ties into Rohan's character because the that girl saved him when she right before she was murdered all those years 15 years ago. So that's cool. Adds another dimension to Rohan's character. And he notes that like oh, I even with Heaven's Door with all these memories, there's something I can still forget. Um, that's interesting. But yeah, there's no stand user, which is that a first since stands were introduced? So since like usually there's just a stand user. But yeah, and then we just kind of we do see is Kira, yes. Yoshigaki Kira, I believe his name. I've heard of this guy. Yeah, and he like he, like he has this hand that oh, is this the guy who has the hand fetish? Isn't there I remember there being a JoJo character that people talk about having a hand fetish. Well, it's more than just a hand, but it kind of cuts off around like here. But yeah, and he holds it around him. And that's kind of he's a weird guy. I wonder if is that her hand? He's like a serial killer, I guess. I wonder what stand he has. He has to have a stand. No one's this important in JoJo's post part 2 without a stand. Even some of the people in part 2 eventually would get stands. So yeah. Yeah, he's a weird guy. And then there's like the reveal that he was saved by him, and then we go on to the next arc here, which is the last one of this. The last arc I talked about this video. This arc, Shiguchi's Shiguchi's harvest. Not an arc that I would expect to be this long. It's like a volume and a half. Well, no, like seven. It's like 7 chapters, so like most of a volume. But we were introduced to like a cool stand, the harvest. Okay, my thoughts are too scrambled. Let me think. Okay, so basically Shiguchi, it's like a weird guy with a stand. And like many stand users, they don't really know anyone else with their power with this type of power. And it's a very unique stand. He's like 500. He said the end. He's like about 500 of these like little bug guys that will go around collecting whatever he says to collect. And like yeah, individually they're weak, but they have long range, and they can just collect stuff. And he starts collecting spare change, that no one will miss, because he mentioned that like the police officer said that if it's like less than 100 yen, don't bother like reporting it. So yeah, he's just collecting free money basically. Good idea for a stand like that. But he is a bit weird. He is a bit slow. I'll leave it at that. Kind of antisocial a bit. His design definitely indicates that. Is he even human? No human has spikes like this, man. I don't know what Araki was doing. Missing two like front teeth. Yeah, definitely. You get definitely the impression of his personality from just his design. Yeah. But Okuyasu and Josuke are kind of weird in this arc. Like they kind of not. I guess you could say they try to take advantage of him, but I'm not sure if that's the right way to phrase to or frame what they do in this arc. I don't know. I don't think they really have malice. I just think they're kind of wanting to get a quick buck because earlier they kind of like mentioned how they're like broke and stuff. And this opportunity, why not? So they have like an idea to collect like unused vouchers and point cards and stuff that people don't want, like stamps or whatever. They'll get more money, and then he uses a stand, and they get fined. Sure enough, they find a bunch of them. They're raking in the dough, and Shige. I'll just call him Shige. I think they realize they mentioned how he has like or Shikachi. He had a different name in birth or whatever they call him, a nickname or whatever. Um, but anyway, he initially is like very happy they're friends, but then his greed gets the better of him, and he doesn't really want to do with them. Um, but but then the stakes get even higher as they find a discarded lottery ticket that's a winner for 5 million yen. And that of course causes a big disturbance or kind of infighting. What the hell is that? You guys hear that? But anyways, there's this bank teller they have to try to get past that doesn't want to sell them give them the ticket. But Okyasu, he uses a stand to help them get out of that situation. It, like erases text of a phone number, to like help them out. Yeah, they kind of got out of the situation, but then he kind of Shigechi kind of screws them over. You're not getting anything because it's my stand. I did all the work, even though Okuyasu got them out of that situation, and it was Josuke's idea to collect those things in the first place instead of just spare change. They start beating him up, but then it turns out his stand isn't just useful for collecting stuff. Like you can send them up your pants or whatever, and they can pack a sting. That's cool. I like seeing how he adapts the stand for battle. And they do have a long range, so that can help. And he can use them to like he uses the harvest to help him climb up buildings. Like they just carry him up. That's cool. And like they try to cross a pipe, or like a large pipe, but he has them get rid of the screws for him. But then Josuke he uses his stand to punch it, and then it goes all the way back together. That's cool. And then he uses okay, this is a bit weird. He uses the stand to inject alcohol into Josuke and Okyasu. But it the way it affects them, it feels like it shouldn't have that effect. Okay, this is what I was talking about earlier with the creepy stands. Let me show this. I'm sorry. They show this. Look at that. Look at hell, man. I don't like. I'm sorry. I don't like Ihor. Or well, Ihor gets to me. It's like the one of the key weak points, the body, and it's just like what the. Uh, but yeah, the alcohol seems to get to them more than I feel like it probably should have. Although he says something about injecting into your veins directly, or injecting into veins directly. Maybe that would have that effect. I don't know, man. But yeah, they eventually get out of the situation. Like he kind of entices um Shigechi to go um into his range with the hand, and then erases the air. And then gets he gets the note, and then Josuke rips up the note, and it's like, okay, I can use my stand to get to repair it. Um, he's like inconceivable, inconceivable, and then it's like now it's conceivable, and now it's back to inconceivable. What a weird guy. So he's able to he rips up the voucher into pieces, and then those pieces go flying, and then he has Shinji go use his harvest guys to get the paper, but now that they're away, they can't defend him, and that's how he gets defeated. So now and then in the end they do get to split up the money. So yeah, Josuke and Gyasu, they both have 1,666,666 yen each. That's cool. I wonder what we'll do with our newfound earnings next time. Oh, who knows? But I doubt we've seen the last of Shigechi. It's a stand that could come in useful. I think, especially in like a search. If they need to like look out for Kira or whatever, that might come in handy. I wonder if they'll try to do any money making schemes again, or if they're gonna make up. But yeah, that'll be it for this volume of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Another good volume. Maybe not as strong as last time, I think. But I'm still liking this better than any of the previous parts. I don't, it's episodic like part 3, but since we're staying in one area, I feel like we're have more of a chance to develop a continuity. A increasing cast of characters with just a which it just allows I think it just allows Namaraki to just do more, with all these characters instead of just leaving them alone after their arc. I mean, there was some characters that came back, I guess, in part 3, but I don't know. It's not. I don't think it's the same. Same as this part. But yeah, that'll be it for this volume, and I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.